Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network, also featured on The Roar on 99.1, 93.5, and 94.7 HD2. I don't know about you guys, but that game last night was absolutely insane.
Whoa.
I did not think it was going to go the way that it did, especially at halftime, but Kansas did come out with a win last night, and it was a great game. How are you guys doing this morning?
Great. It is Tuesday. Oh, favorite day of the week.
Turtleneck Tuesday.
How are you doing, buddy?
How can Tuesday be your best day of the week? That's insane. Doesn't make sense.
What does make sense is that you're with us this morning, and guess what? I didn't call you a bad word this morning.
Yay.
Terry, congratulations on your first morning not being called a bitch.
Right. But
Hey, you know what?
speaking of that, I want to apologize to Adham. I'd like to apologize to the entire Middle Eastern community.
Why?
Because yesterday I got a little out of hand at the end of the show. I'd also like to apologize to the We Are Bitches of America Society.
There you go, Terry. That's what I want to hear.
I called Adham a bitch at the end of the show. That's not who I am. And I must learn to control my emotions and try to be the man that I hope to be. What I should have called you after you complained about the snow and the cold in Big Ten football season, I should have just called you a worm boy. So
I prefer being called a bitch. I'm
I
not
was
going
going
to
to
lie,
say,
Terry.
do you have to apologize for calling people
Yeah,
bitches
no,
now?
no.
Because that's
Terry,
exactly who I am.
Rule number one on the show, we don't apologize for anything. You're a hippo, eat a salad. I'm not apologizing. Sorry. Can't help you.
well, yeah, that was sarcasm if you noticed.
Oh, I know. I got you. I'm just going to reinforce. We
Yes.
don't apologize
We
here.
don't
all right? It's never
apologize
going to
here.
happen. Terry,
All right.
my goodness, where do we start? The Detroit Tigers traded for Austin Meadows yesterday. You know, we'll get to the over-under a little later on in the show, but that move it was very reminiscent of the Dombrowski days. Those trades where you look at and you're like, oh, the Tigers got that for that? Terry, what does that move mean for the Tigers? And what do you think of it?
Well, I think it's, we have a narrative in this town that the Tigers really serious. And I think it shows that they are, that they want to do something this year. And so it makes me more excited about opening day. And so like I said yesterday, for the Tiger season, take your shirts off. Because that's what we're going to do this year.
I'm done. I'm ready to take off my shirt right now, Terry. I'm not going to lie.
Let's not
I'm
do
feeling
that this
Okay.
morning.
I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling good about
Right.
my bets. You guys have to remember, I already placed 2 bets: the Tigers to win the Central, and the Tigers to go over on the win total. I'm feeling good right now.
Mm-hmm.
I got it before that Meadows trade. Oh God, oh my God, Terry, I pissed money this morning. Oh my God, let me tell you.
Hey, Adham.
Yeah.
Adam, don't talk this trash, dude. I want to see nipples before the week is over.
Look,
Nipples.
Terry,
Terry, just remember.
Terry,
Oh, boy.
come here.
Oh, my God. Dude, you got so much hair, I can't see them.
Yeah, it's the little red thing.
Oh,
Hey,
my
take that
gosh.
sweater off underneath your sweater. And
I'm gonna
and
do
we can see
one
it.
of these days. I'm gonna do a whole show naked, just for you,
Well,
Terry.
just remember we are starting to drink at 4 a.m. on Friday, so.
I can't wait. It might be Friday, Terry. You might see me show up in the brass row butt naked.
Ayo.
Oh, wow. Hey, but, it's a public place. I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, I can. Right?
The brass rail has a health code, and to see your naked ass and your butt hairs all hanging out and everything, nobody's gonna want beer or pizza.
I
You
think
just
it's
have to
a
wear
great
a
time.
hairnet.
I really do, but I'll push the Austin Meadows trade aside for a little bit. We'll get to that around 8:30 along with the Tigers over-under. But Terry, what can we expect? And not so much what can Detroit Lions fans expect this season from the offense? We saw this offense start the season. It looked like one of the worst offenses in the league. Anthony Lynn couldn't call a play if his life depended on it. They made the transition. 2 weeks in, they finally got comfortable, and then you saw this team really start to at least move the ball downfield consistently, score consistent points, convert better on third down. What are Lions fans in tune for this season?
I'm assuming you mean the Lions because I think you said Tigers. But anyway, I don't know yet because we've got to have this draft and we have to have free agency. Now, assuming they're going to get a young receiver, assuming that they might get a little bit more depth on the line and stuff, I don't have high expectations for their offense. I still think it's limited. Jared Goff should be better, but middle of the pack, maybe, if they're lucky. I just don't see a stellar offense unless they get somebody great in the draft. And I don't think there's rookies out there that can really help that. Now, last year, yes, I mean, it started out as a disaster. This year, to me, is too many unknowns again. Who's going to call the plays? Amon St. He's not going to be the only receiver out there. Jared Goff will be better. But I just don't think this offense is going to take off. I think it's a weak offense. Needs a lot more help, brother. Maybe you should ask this question in 2 years. How's this offense going to be? Because you seem to be a little bit excited this morning, and I don't want to let you down.
Oh, no. So here, I'll tell you where I'm at with this offense. I think you're correct in saying they aren't. I think the better word is they're not a complete offense yet, Terry, right? They signed DJ Chark, which is a Band-Aid signing for one season. They're looking to have somewhat of a deep threat if he's healthy. You bring back Josh Reynolds. He has good rapport with Jared Goff. St. Brown, yes, he was a rookie last year. What are you getting out of him this year? TJ Hawkinson, will he ever be healthy for a full season? Can you get something out of the tight end? A lot of questions with the offense. But what I would argue is I know what I'm getting out of this offense for sure this year because I saw it down the stretch. I saw them play a certain way of football that is the only way they can play given who their quarterback is, what their wide receiving room looks like. And Terry, that to me is a run-first offense, run consistently, abuse and use your offensive line that is very talented. And yeah, you're going to drop back 25, 26 times a game at most. I don't see this being a pass-heavy offense. What I see is a team that's going to control the clock. They're going to try to be efficient on third down, and they're going to try to set themselves up for a third and short opportunity. That way, if they get enough yardage and they're just short, knowing Dan Campbell, they're going to go for it. That's my expectation, Terry.
And they went for it 41 times last season. So, but once again, unless you have Derrick Henry back there, and I want to see a couple more years of seasoning on this offensive line, I don't think they're going to control the clock as much as you think they will. That's what they're going to try to do. But, I agree this is incomplete is the best way to put this offense. But I'm not excited about it yet. But, let's put a little bit more gristle on them. And then maybe in 2023, we're talking about, okay, this offense might be decent.
I think by 2023, you're looking at probably the final year of Jared Goff in Detroit and what that looks like. I don't think we're all certain of it yet because they haven't drafted a quarterback. And like you said, you have to wait and see what they're going to do in the draft. But with this offensive line, Terry, it may not be the most explosive offense. I don't think they're going to blow anybody away. But again, I'll always go back to what they're going to try to do. What they're going to try to do and the way they're going to try and play the game of football, at least offensively, is they're going to want to control the clock. They're going to want to replicate their performances against Arizona down the stretch, Green Bay to an extent, misdirection, maybe not so much the trick plays, but, Terry, I think where my expectation is I think there'll be a more efficient offense. I don't think there'll be a 30-point-a-game offense. I think there'll be somewhere between 23, 25 points a game. But my question to you is, how aggressive should Dan Campbell be in year 2? We talked about this all of last year. It's easy to be aggressive, go for it on fourth down when there are no expectations, and you're going to be 3-13-1, and nobody's really looking at it too much because, oh, it's year 1, it's a pass. What about year 2 when you have the 4th easiest schedule in the NFL? You're expected to win anywhere between 6 and 9 games realistically with that schedule, and with the likely improvements of your football team. How aggressive should Dan Campbell be, and how aggressive do you think he will be?
Okay, first of all, when you bust kneecaps, you can't do it for 1 year and then become conservative. I still think he needs to be aggressive because, once again, this offense is not complete. He's talking about being wild and crazy, and I think that's the only way the Lions can be competitive. If you're just going to run the ball and then on 4th and 1, no matter where you are, you're either going to pooch, punt it, or punt it, you're going to fail. Dan Campbell is going to have to make some moves that we question. We're like, oh my God, why did he go for it then? So he's going to have to go for it on 4th and 1 at the 50-yard line or inside the opponent's 49-yard line. My fear, and this is not a Dan Campbell thing, this is a coaching thing with the Detroit Lions. I've talked to a bunch of coaches before they start, and they're like, we're going to be aggressive on defense, we're going to be aggressive on offense, and then when it comes to show us what they're going to do, then they become all conservative. Now, Dan Campbell, to his credit, was aggressive his first year because he came in with a blaze of glory. I'm going to bust kneecaps, and we're going to get up, and we're going to knock your ass down again. And that can't be a one-trick pony. That has to be who you are. 5 years from now, the Lions should do that. And keep opponents off balance. So all this misdirection, all this going forward on 4th down, this has to be the Lions' identity. And as a guy that's been around this ball club for quite a few years, if you ask me what is the Lions' identity, here's what I'll give you. I don't know. So if Dan Campbell sticks to his word, sticks to how he coached his first year, that could be the first step of the Lions actually having an identity. Unpredictable, flying by the seat of your pants, our hair is on fire, and I think that's I'm not going to say it's the only way the Lions can succeed, but that's going to be that needs to be a primary staple of your Detroit Lions from here on and here out until this man leaves.
I think identity is a very important word. Terry,
Are you okay with that, or does that scare you?
No, I'm okay with it. Look, I like an individual to fail or succeed on their terms, right? If I'm going to, let's say I want to become a professional boxer. All right, well, I'm going to put in all the work. I'm going to train. I'm going to compete. And if I lose, all right, fine. And if I win, great. But I'm going to do it my way. And with head coaches, a lot of time, especially in Detroit, you see them come in with swagger. They'll come in and, like you said, they'll talk a big game. And the season starts, and it's not the guy that you hired. And 2-3 years in, they're a shell of themselves by the time they left. I think Dan Campbell's biggest strength and his biggest trait or quality will end up being sticking to his guns, being aggressive, even if you may question it at the time. And look, I'm sure during football season, we're going to scratch our heads at some of the calls, but you have to look at this football team and say, okay, was that decision at that time the best decision, Terry, to put this team in a position to win a football game? And if the answer to that question is yes, I think we need to start being comfortable with being uncomfortable with fourth down play calling. Fair?
Right. But sometimes it's not going to put you in the best position because you're not going to succeed all the time. The other reason I think this is very important is I know Dan Campbell is a motivator, but the problem is if you're a losing team, you run the risk of losing the locker room. And I think Dan Campbell, later in the season became aggressive, not because it was strategically smart. It was, okay, I got to make sure I don't lose these guys because, if they're all in, the guys are looking at you like this. Okay, what's up, coach? I got it, coach. But if you start getting conservative and you're losing, ball. Look, you talk about the cocaine, right? NFL players like candy, and candy is being aggressive. Candy is going for a fake punt or a fake field goal. That gets guys motivated and stimulated. And I thought, despite the motivational tactics of Dan Campbell, he risked losing that team if he became conservative at the end of the season. And I'm sure a guy's going to look at him again next season and say, okay, what's coach going to do? Is he, are we going to be all out or all in? So what's it going to be? And if they see him drawing back and they're start out 2-4 and everything, that could be a disaster as far as getting guys to buy in. But if they're 2-4 and they're still doing crazy stuff, going for it on fourth down, being aggressive, then guys are going to look at you like, okay, coach, we didn't succeed, but I'm still ready to go. Let's roll with this. So it's not this strategic, my friend.
Well, Terry, we do have to go to break, but before we go, I can tell you about Big Boy. Big Boy brought the Seafood Festival back, and it includes a Friday night seafood buffet. It goes until April the 24th, so catch it while you can. They got fish and chips, fish fry, popcorn, shrimp, and pike perch. And don't forget, they're rolling out a whole new fish sandwich.
Oh, my goodness.
Make sure you head over to Big Boy. Don't miss out on the Seafood Fest, available at participating locations.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
All right, guys. Well, you know where I get my tan on and where you should too. Chili Peppers Tanning. That's where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D with spotless sanitized rooms and trained certified tanning professionals. They've got 26 locations and more to come. Join the Pepper Club for all the best unlimited tanning deals. They'll even beat your competitors by $5. Don't forget, of course, to pick up Australian Gold, Designer Skin, Caltan, and Swedish Beauty Lotions. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. That's where you're going to find the hottest deals, the hottest bulbs, and the darkest tans. Are you good over there?
I'm good. Never better. Never better.
Never better. I call BS on that one.
You know who's
okay.
never been better? Shut up, fish. Kansas.
No,
And my family. Kansas, by the way.
sweet home Kansas.
There's a two-parter to what happened last night, right? North Carolina up 16. They blow the lead, whatever. We all know Kansas win. There is something more tragic. And there was such a heartbreaking moment last night. And I don't think anybody caught it. And what happened last night was my FanDuel account was this close to looking real nice until North Carolina decided to choke on a 14-inch dick, Terry. And I don't know what to do. That game was signed, sealed, and delivered. I had put hundreds of dollars on North Carolina.
Chill out over there.
After they were down 7-0, I was feeling good about the bet, Terry. And then they dicked me. I hate college basketball.
Well, you should hate this tournament too, dude. I keep telling you, young people, keep your money in your pocket. But you know, there's been a trend in this tournament now. Is when a team is up 10 or 15, I expect them not just to lose, but at least be in a ball game. I mean, that's happened to Michigan State. That happened to Michigan. That happened to a bunch of teams that you say, okay, they got this, but teams keep coming back, and that's been the charm of this tournament. And I'm sorry you lost your money, but
You don't
I'm
apologize
happy.
to
It's
him.
all right.
He did
It's
that
better
to
than-
himself.
Yeah, it's better than me taking it to the strip club and throwing it at some hooch.
Well, I don't mean it. When I apologize to you today, I don't really mean it.
Good.
For you. I'm
Hell
glad
yeah.
you lost your money.
Terry, we talked about it yesterday, what Michigan and Michigan State are missing. And you look at a Kansas team last night, and even North Carolina, there is such a big difference in terms of elite level guard play. In the paint, I would say defenders. Not even so much post scorers, but just guys that can score in the paint, but also mainly defend the paint. It's just it feels to me that we're so brainwashed by the Big Ten, Terry, that when you watch a college basketball game like last night, or you watch the Duke UNC game, it feels like there's just different levels to the basketball that these ACC teams are playing compared to what the teams in the Big Ten are doing. Am I off by saying that?
No, you're not. And what we need to do is we need to pay attention to the recruiting, because when there's 4- and 5-star guys, it always comes down to Michigan State and Kansas, or Iowa and Duke, or Michigan and North Carolina. And you see those guys slip away from the Big Ten. But then we're brainwashed to think that the second best guy is the best guy. And he's usually not. These teams win these games in April, May, June, or February, the previous season, because they're getting the talent. I mean, you look at the Final Four. The Final Four is filled with blue bloods. If I am a 4- or 5-star college recruit, North Carolina, Kansas, Duke, they're all on my radar. And if the Big Ten comes crawling along like, hey, come to our school, I'm not going. I'm going to play where there's real basketball. Now, Kansas, has a rich tradition. I've been there for a game, and here's the thing: it's just different when you go to a game there. It's just different when you go to a game at North Carolina, a Duke. It's not just the players; it's the atmosphere, it's the crowd, it's the alumni, it's everything. It's just different. So it doesn't surprise me that these teams win the national championships. And here's the other thing, and I think this might be unique to this year. Kansas, Duke, North Carolina all had these bucket butt guys who are like 6'8", 6'9", can carve out spaces for themselves and get a bucket. I think in the Big Ten, and this is a scenario that could play out next year. Let's hit those 3-point shots, and that works. That does work. But when it comes to the bottom line, and at least for this one season, this has been the year of the bucket butt 6'9" guy with cool looking braids or cool hair, and it's very hard to create your own shot on the block. But these guys are able to do that, and not only that, but they attack the boards, they're vicious on the boards, and this is what we saw this season. But I'm not saying this is the way to win it every year. This was the way to win it this year. This year was the year that the 6'9" guy carved out a spot for himself and was able to get their teams to the Final Four and was able to win championships this year.
Fair enough, Terry. Fair enough. Well, that was a wrap for the national title game. And to be honest with you, outside of losing money, I had no interest in the game. My bracket was busted the first day. I haven't looked at it since. I'm not interested in looking at it, so nobody asked me about it. We're going to move on. All right?
Did you win your pool?
Hell no. Hell no. I'd even finish I think I finished last, honestly, this year.
I would like to know, out of all of us, who actually had the better bracket.
The only
though.
thing that I got right was Kansas in the Final Four. That was it. And I'd even have them winning, so. Everything else went to crap.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that was really, really bad, Terry. Really bad.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Can you please tell me you're not bracket guy? At least this year I know you weren't. Bracket guy that pulls out that little sheet of paper and says, "Here, look at my bracket. I got 16 of the first 18 right."
Oh no, he
hate
threw
that
that
guy.
out day one.
Yeah, no, hell no, Terry, no. Definitely not
Good.
me. Definitely not me. I do want to talk about the Detroit Tigers. All right, they traded for Austin Meadows. That is a big deal. They send Paredes off to Tampa Bay. It's a fleece of a deal, and it's a fleece.
Paredes and what else?
What is it?
Paredes and what else?
Draft B compensation. Yeah, there's a draft pick in the. I want to say it's called Draft B, and then there's also compensation involved. I'm not sure how much money it is yet.
You know what? Somebody's got pictures on somebody. That trade doesn't make sense.
Hey,
And when we talk about trades here in Detroit, when you talk to fans about it, every trade they have fleeces the other team, and you know the other team is never going to get fleeced. My only, I think the only reason I think this trade makes sense is because of injuries and COVID, because he was injured last year or hasn't been healthy, and so that's why maybe this thing happened, and it really doesn't make sense. But the bigger issue with the Tigers is, are they serious? And I think
they are
Terry.
serious.
They
have to be. They have to be. You've got a manager in there that I believe is the best manager in baseball. And when you have that guy, and that guy who wants to win at the highest level, has won at the highest level before, and is looking to not only redeem himself, but put together a contender, I don't see the Tigers being able, given the bias signing, given now this trade, to me, it's not only that they are serious, they're doing it in a different way. This is the first time that we're talking about the Detroit Tigers, I want to say since 2006, Terry, where it was a well-blended mixture of young arms, young bats, and then you had some veteran presence, and then you had some good bats in the middle of the lineup. It's been a minute since we've seen it, been built this way, so I think it's legit,
Yeah,
Terry.
but you know what else? Adam, you know what else that could be going on here? The Tigers could be doing a little recruiting. And you know who they're trying to recruit? A.J. Hinch. Because I'm convinced if this guy looks around and you know what? These clowns aren't serious. These clowns aren't giving me what I want. He'll walk. He has no obligations to the Detroit Tigers outside of a paycheck. He, to me, is a free agent manager that you already have. Now, you got to prove to him, we're going to be like Boston. We're going to be like the Yankees. We're going to be like the Dodgers.
You got to bring back that 2012 payroll. You have to bring it back.
Right. And you know what? Guess who else comes back if you have a payroll like that and this team is competitive? Not only do you keep A.J. Hinch, but you get all these Tiger fans who will show up for opening day and then won't show up Saturday. You get those people back. That's why if you own the Detroit Tigers, it makes no sense, absolutely no sense to save money. Because if you spend money, you will make money because Detroit will show up.
I love it.
In droves.
I love it. I love it. Well, you know what, Terry? We're going to segue real quick. Vegas sets the Tigers over-under at 76.5. I'm curious to see what it is now after the Austin Meadows trade. We'll get to that in a little bit. But before we do, I got to tell all of you about our studio sponsor, Planet Fitness. Guys, Planet Fitness is your home of a judgment-free zone. Your fitness is essential, and you can get signed up today for as little as $0 down, $10 a month. Check out Planet Fitness at planetfitness.com or one of their many Metro Detroit locations. Again, your fitness is essential, and as always, tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Comerica Park. Sunshine. The crack of the bat. More sunshine. Warmth. We're almost there, Detroit. Summer 2022 will be the summer of Woodward sports. We just gotta make it through this damn cold first.
My bookie, guys, if you sucked like I did last night and you bet on North Carolina, congratulations. We all lost money together. But if you want to get your money back, sign up for my bookie, and they'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar if you use code Woodward. Bet from anywhere, anytime using my bookie. And again, if you suck or you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-270-7117. The Detroit Tigers open up in Vegas. Over under 76.5 wins. Terry, I am taking the over on this number. You can't tell me they're not 3 games better than the Kansas City Royals. It's a bit ridiculous. This is an 84, 86 win team. I'm feeling really good about it, Terry. Tarek Skubal, I think, could emerge as the ace of this team. My God, the stuff he's been throwing in spring training is nice to see. You have Casey Mize, another young up-and-coming arm. You got some good bats. Spencer Torkelson, rookie year. You just added Austin Meadows. I'm feeling really good about the lineup. You finally have a shortstop, Javier Baez. You'll be better defensively. Terry, 76.5. Give me the over every single day of the week, and I probably do have a gambling problem.
But you know what? You're going to get your little money back that you allegedly lost last night by betting on North Carolina. Because, see, I think this year, people outside of Detroit didn't pay attention to the Tigers last year. They just look at their record and say, okay, there'll be a few games below or a few games above. They didn't look at the fact that Tigers started 9-24, and then were a competent baseball team for, I would say, like 70% of the season. So that's been lost on people outside Detroit. We know it, but I don't think people in Vegas know it. People in New York realize it. People in California realize it. But you're going to get your money back, pal. Bet the over on the Tigers this year. Once again, it's going to be a year that I think you can take your shirt off, show those nipples. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but they're going to be an above 500 team, and they're going to scare some people.
I said it back in December, and I'm not moving off of it, Terry. Tigers are winning the Central. I really think they're going to compete with the White Sox. Worst case scenario, they're 5-6 games back of the White Sox because the White Sox decide to go ahead and win 96, 97 games. But watch out for the Tigers. I'm feeling really good about them. Riley Green, a fractured foot. I'm not sure how long he's out for. I'm not sure if we've gotten any updates regarding him. But you got to look at, Terry, what are they building here? They're building a guy that had 31 home runs 2 years ago, 27 last year, 100 RBIs. So now you have somebody in the middle of your lineup that you can rely on driving in on base, base runners. And then my question to you is, where does Torkelson fall in all of this? Where is he in the lineup, right? Javier Baez probably batting, what, second? First or second? Depends. What does that look like?
Right. The other thing is Miguel Cabrera still has a little bit in the tank, but you drop him to 6th. Maybe that takes he felt pressure last year with the 500 home runs for a while. He couldn't hit the home runs. He couldn't get anything going. So Miguel Cabrera, if you drop him in the lineup, you take the pressure off of him, and he might be a little bit more productive in the twilight of his career, because I think sometimes when you're batting third, it's like, oh shoot, I got to do something. So you might grip the bat a little bit tighter, but let this man relax a little bit, let him enjoy this season, and don't put as much pressure on him. His job isn't to carry the Tigers anymore. He's done that, been there, done that, and you drop him and allow him to enjoy the game more, allow him to be that mentor, allow him to be a better version than Albert Pujols at this point of his career. And so I think that will help the Tigers also. But a guy like Torkelson, keep the pressure off him too. This is a guy that eventually will probably bat third or fourth, but not this year. You got him fifth, Miggy sixth, Riley Green, I don't know, third or fourth or something like that. Bunch them together and see if you can create yourself a little murderer's row in the middle of the lineup. So that's one thing
I'm more
like
than good with that. I really am. And it's tricky, Terry. We're talking about the Detroit Tigers a year and a half removed from the AJ Hinch hiring. And when he was hired, it was one of the worst teams in baseball. And last year, they very, very much outperformed expectations. They looked like a better ball club because of AJ Hinch. I think they're operating much better because of him. And I love the point that you brought up earlier. They need to take themselves seriously because that manager that I believe we agree on is at least a top 2, top 3 manager in baseball. I think he's the best. He's out the door after the season ends, if you aren't going out and signing a Javier Baez, you aren't making a trade for Austin Meadows, you aren't adding another arm midway into the season before the trade deadline, that I'm on board with you 100%.
Yeah, but you have to. AJ Hinch shouldn't be here. AJ Hinch should be managing the Yankees. He should be managing the Red Sox. He should be managing the Cubs or the Dodgers. In other words, this is a guy that if we didn't have the scandal, he would be managing one of the blue bloods of Major League Baseball. And he probably would still be in Houston. But this is a guy that the Tigers are lucky to have. Now, when you get a guy like this, you got to work to keep him. And like I said, he's sort of a free agent because I think if A.J. Hinch doesn't like what he sees here, if they didn't sign Baez, if they didn't have Torkelson and Green, if they didn't make trades like they did yesterday, he would say, you know what, I'm going to coach a real team. Tigers are Rudy Poo. They're a joke. They're not really serious about this because I'm serious about this. I'm going to win. And if it wasn't for A.J. Hinch, guess what? The Tigers wouldn't have signed Baez. They wouldn't have they wouldn't have made the trade yesterday because I think they were content with letting the rebuild go a little bit slower. But A.J. Hinch showed them that you can expedite things with smart decision-making, with a management style that's a little bit unconventional, but it works. We don't know what this guy is going to do. You know, he has his analytics, and I know I read a story about how the Tigers are serious about analytics. But A.J. Hinch would say, you know what, screw that. That's not going to work here. I want to try something different. I want to go by my gut. And you know what? It works because the man is smart. The man knows that he should be managing a contender. And if the Tigers are not contenders within 2 or 3 years, I could see him walking.
I think that's a fair point.
Get me out of this minor league team here, masquerading as a major league team. I want to go to a real club.
No, I think you're spot on. Terry, can we apply that concept in the other major sports? And what I mean by that is, let's use the NFL as an example with the Detroit Lions. How long do you need with the head coach before you know if he can coach in the NFL, if he can succeed? Is that talent related? Is it coaching decision related? Is it in-game performance? What does that look like? Because we look at AJ Hinch. Last year, they overperformed, and he did a very good job. And it was obvious that he was making impact both on the field, on the diamond and off the diamond, in the front office all the way down to the players. Can we apply that same, this guy, if you got the guy you know right away concept to the other major sports, whether it's the Pistons, Lions, doesn't matter who?
Absolutely, and that's what you should do. I'm sick and tired of hearing how Detroit is a small market team. No, Detroit should have expectations, and if you get a guy that that's competent, then you should keep him, and you should do everything you can to make this a place that's comfortable for him. Now, I just think with the A.J. Hinch, it's a unique situation. I don't think Dan Campbell is in that situation where if you don't show me, I'm out of here, I'm gone. I think Dan Campbell, he'll stay. They could have 10 consecutive losing years, and Dan Campbell, if it was up to him, would still be coaching the Detroit Lions. Because one, he's just happy to have a job. Two, he does love that organization because he played for it. And three, they gave him an opportunity. So I think Hinch is the outlier. He's the only guy that is Blashill going to get up and walk and say, hey, Steve, I'm not winning enough because it's your fault. I'm out of here. Hell no. Dwayne Casey's not going to do it, and neither would Dan Campbell. So we're looking at a very unique situation with A.J. Hinch, and the Tigers have to put on the pretty dress and show him that they are serious.
Hell yeah.
Yes, got some real unique stuff going on here, brother.
Oh, I know, man. Believe me, I'm aware of it. And I'm feeling good, man. The Tigers got me feeling a real certain way right now. That to me is very the Dombrowski era, even early, or I shouldn't say early, late Leland era. Some of those moves, man, before they transitioned, that was a baseball team. That's how you operate. And the Tigers were actually always in the competitive market, if you want to compare them with the Yankees, or at least they were from, I want to say the mid-2000s. Up until 2013-ish, they were out spending the money. They were out making blockbuster trades. Yeah, I don't want to hear this is just a small market. It's not. If you're a good team, if you have a good front office, you'll be able to attract players. There should be no issue.
All right, you ready for a little story time right here, brother?
Oh, I'm listening.
Before that, the Tigers, under Mike Ilitch, did not spend money. He seemed to put all his money behind the Red Wings. But I was at that meeting at Comerica Park where he decided, you know what? Enough of this. I'm going to spend. I'm serious about this. I'm going to sign players like Pudge Rodriguez and Carlos Guillen and stuff. So I was lucky enough to be part of that meeting where he made that announcement that he was going to do this. And guess what? Many in the Detroit market didn't believe him. They said Mike Ilitch is not serious about spending. Mike Ilitch is not serious about bringing a winner to Detroit. But he was serious. And so now the concept or the belief is Mike Ilitch all along has been a guy that wanted to spend, wanted to win, and that it was the kids now who don't want this to be a competitive business. They're going to treat this like a business. Well, Mike Ilitch didn't. Mike Ilitch did treat it like a business at first. He didn't want to lose money, but I think he discovered if you put a product on the field, people are going to show up and you're going to make your money. That's why, to me, it makes no sense ever for the Tigers to be skinflints.
I'm with you, Terry. I'm with you. And yeah, I'm 100% with you. There's nothing more important than establishing a winning identity. And that doesn't mean, we're talking about tanking it. This has nothing to do with I'm talking winning off the field. Organizational decisions, having the right GM, having the right head coach in place. And that's what we're going to be talking about next. Which Detroit sports teams have the best head coach, general manager combination right now? But before we do, I got to tell you about our good friends at Gypsy Vodka. Gypsy Vodka is Michigan's vodka, gluten-free, locally owned and operated up in Petoskey, Michigan. Check them out at gypsyvodka.com. And if you go out and look for the bottle, ask for it by the name of Gypsy, guys. And as always, please, 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 can't stress it enough, do drink responsibly.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Well, guys, if you're looking for something fun to do, don't forget we have the Foaling Warehouse down in Hamtramck. I wouldn't pick a better partner than Adham Beydoun, but you can pick whatever partner that you would like. It's home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. Host your corporate party, team building event, or just come in with family and friends. There's 2 ways to play, $10 unlimited open play, or you can do a private lane reservation. And don't forget, they have over 100 beers, and they have a $2 mystery beer machine. You can bring the food or even have it delivered in. Come get your Foal on. Check it out at thefoalingwarehouse.com.
All right, let's get it. Terry, which Detroit sports teams have the best GM head coach combination? I'm going to start with this one. I truly believe this is a difficult one. I'm going to say the Detroit Red Wings, even though Jeff Blashill's complete garbage. The Red Wings have the best GM. They're the only team with a GM that has proven he can deliver championships and build championship organizations, and that's Steve Yzerman. Of all the GMs in Detroit right now, you have Troy Weaver, you have Brad Holmes, you have Fat Al Avila. We don't have to talk about him. He's just now starting to get on my good side, but that's really more so because of AJ Hinch than it is about him. Having said that, it's the Red Wings because they have Steve Yzerman. I know nobody's a fan of Jeff Blashill right now. I totally understand. You can get over it because the GM in place is going to be the guy that's going to get you the marquee free agent signings, that's going to continue to hit in the draft, and eventually he's going to hit on the head coach. Am I off, Terry?
No, you're not off, but I want to say this. In Detroit sports history, this is the strongest GM coaching combination we've ever had. I had the Lions fourth, for instance. It's still pretty good with Holmes and Dan Campbell. In many years, the Lions would have been the second best or something. But I think the first three are really tough. But because I think Blashill is such garbage, I can't put the Wings in number one, even though Steve Yzerman is the best general manager. I went with the Tigers. I went with the Tigers because A.J. Hinch is the best coach/manager in Detroit. And I don't think it's close. And as far as Al Avila is a guy that we just are never going to warm up to. So you're always going to say he's subpar. But Al Avila is doing a good job. At least the last couple years. I understand that the rebuild took a little bit too long. But I think we're sleeping on Al Avila as being a competent guy because we have driven that scenario for so long and so hard. No matter what this man does, what we're going to say, it's A.J. Hinch. So I'm going to say Tigers number one, but it's really close.
I don't know. I think if A.J. Hinch isn't hired as the Tigers manager and the White Sox don't pass on him like the idiots they are, that Al Avila to this day is justifying why this team has this one of the lowest payrolls in baseball. They don't go out and get the free agent signings. They probably win 50 games last year, and they're probably winning 50 games this year. I don't know how much I'm sold on Al Avila. I think right now he's doing a good job. I have to be fair. But you're spot on by saying... Go ahead.
Don't we have to give him some credit? Because
I don't know.
Here's what we do.
Do you give a fat person credit for eating a pizza? Like they're supposed to.
Yeah, he ate it. If he wins the pizza eating contest, yes. It's usually the skinny guys who win that.
Oh, man.
Do you give Joe Dumars credit for getting Ben Wallace?
Oh, of course.
Well, Ben Wallace wasn't his first choice
That's very
in that
true.
trade.
It's very true.
So, but we still give him credit.
All right, Terry, you're working me a little bit here.
And
I'm opening up to it.
And his scouts gave him bogus information about Darko, but we still put it on his resume that you drafted Darko Milishek. So whether it's by luck or skill, if a man makes a move, I think we should give him credit for it.
All right, I'm okay with that. You have the Lions fourth. I find that very interesting. I have them third on my list. I'm actually the least confident right now in the Troy Weaver, Dwayne Casey situation, given that Troy Weaver, I think, has done a very good job. I'm just not sure what job Dwayne Casey will do for the Detroit Pistons. I don't know if he's going to be around to be the guy that is with Cade Cunningham going on a 52-30 season, the number 3-4 seed in the East. They make a playoff run or two. I don't see it. I don't know if he's the bridge head coach or what, but for me, I have the Detroit Lions at third. Yes, Dan Campbell is unproven, but I think Brad Holmes has done a good enough job so far. And to his credit, and yeah, you can point at the organization's history, but I believe Brad Holmes is the most competent GM the Detroit Lions have ever had. And that's saying something considering they've sucked for 58 years.
Yeah, but the reason I put the Pistons third ahead of the Lions is Troy Weaver had to come in and clean up Stan Van Gundy's slop. This was a team that was trending towards never being good. In the NBA, you do not have a coach and a GM running the show all at the same time. So Troy Weaver had to revamp that entire roster. If you look at the Pistons today as compared to the day that Stan Van Gundy walked out that door, you wouldn't recognize the team. But that's a huge risk that we believe is going to pay off in dividends. And you're right, Dwayne Casey he probably won't be here to see the Pistons win 50 games. I'm willing to bet that he won't. But this is a guy that I thought might have been losing the locker room. I'll admit that. I haven't heard about mutiny, and that does happen in the NBA. I think the players still respect him, but sometimes when you're an older guy, it's harder for you to get up every day and try to motivate younger guys who don't know anything. You're better off with a team.
To be fair, I mean, Troy Weaver came in, yes, traded everybody, got rid of everybody and everything associated with Stan Van Gundy, but the longest tenured player is Killian Hayes, who was their lottery pick from just over a season ago. It's a very young team, so I don't expect mutiny from a young basketball team because they're new to the game. They're still understanding what the league is. They're still developing their own games. They're not their own individual or their own individual selves yet. They haven't developed to a point where, they have expectations of, dude, you can't coach. What are you doing here? We got a really good team, and you're holding us back. I don't think that's ever going to be the conversation right now because the team is so young, and Troy has built it that way, and you can be confident in the players. I think we all are confident in the players that they've gotten, but with Dwayne Casey, it's such an odd situation because he's such a well-respected head coach. He's such a well-respected man, and you look at his resume back in Toronto. He got fired after being head coach of being named head coach of the year, but they went on and won a title without him. So is he a guy that gets you to the 42-win mark, the 44-win mark, and then you let go of him? Or is he the guy you're all in on? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
Well, you know what? And the whole Casey thing, yeah, they won a title after he left. But there was something else they got, too, Kawhi Leonard. And he carried that team. DeRozan, really good player. But if you looked at him play in Toronto, last 5 minutes of a game, he couldn't hit a shot. But last 5 minutes of a game, you say, DeMar, take the ball, because I know you can't do anything with it. And then you essentially replace his mindset with Kawhi Leonard, who's a stone-cold killer. So I don't think Toronto, the Raptors, won the title because they got rid of Casey. They won the title because they got Kawhi Leonard. They still would have won that title with Casey if they had gotten Kawhi. And I know they were sold on DeRozan, but I just didn't like his game now. I love it now, but at that time, he was a guy that when it was crunch time, he disappeared. So I think that was the difference with the Raptors now. And So I'm going to go Tigers, Wings, Pistons, and Lions because Lions are still, trying to figure things out. And potentially
what the hell do the Lions
Lions
do, Terry? Well, what do they do? Because how much of it is, they don't have the talent, and how much of it is, you know what? I'm watching head coaches around the league go into certain situations, and they turn it around right away. And yes, you can attribute that to talent, but how much of it is, all right, we really need to identify, can this guy coach, or am I being a bit too much right now in terms of expectations?
See, that's why I have the Lions fourth, because I don't know if Dan Campbell can coach. I don't know if he can go in and out-coach somebody. Now, master motivator, yes. Brad Holmes is building it, quote-unquote, the right way, but that's going to pay off a little bit longer than fans are going to be tolerant with. You have to understand, with the Detroit Lions have always tried to do the quick fix. They brought in the wide receivers when they didn't have a competent defense or offensive line. But Holmes, it seems to me, he's got the okay to build inside out. So he's going to build that offensive line. He's building that defensive line. He's going to bring in, I believe, a competent edge rusher. And it's not sexy, but it's the way that you build a championship NFL team. And the Lions, up until now, what they always try to do is, how can we win a few more games? That was their whole mindset. But now I think Brad Holmes is like, nah, let's not win a few more games. Let's try to win some playoff games. So I'm going to build it that way. And so potentially the Lions could be number one. Because if you build this morbid franchise into a championship contender, I'm not even talking about a championship team, but into a contender, your ass is getting in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And you know what it's going to say on the plaque? This MFer made the Detroit Lions a winning franchise. Period. So potentially the Lions, if these guys are serious, that GM coach combination could be number one. But we don't know that yet.
We'll have to wait and see. I'm excited to find out, Terry. We got the football season ahead, the hockey season coming to a close. Opening day this Friday. Speaking of which, we're going to be down there at the Brass Rail, and I am so effing excited. I didn't want to swear. Opening day at the Brass Rail. The morning show will be live 8 to 10 a.m. downtown. It's going to be a blast. Big D Energy live from the Music Hall 11 to 1. And, of course, the bottom line from 2 to 4 at the Brass Rail. Again, we're going to be down there all day having some good time. Maddie will be there, obviously. I can't guarantee if she'll be intoxicated or not. Probably. Having said that, guys, we have to address something with Terry Foster. It's something that's been brought up before on the show. And there's no better time than day 2 with Terry Foster to bring it up. So we'll get to that shortly. We'll see you after the break.
You asked for it, and we listened. The Seafood Festival is back at Big Boy, including a Friday night seafood buffet. Catch it while you can, available at participating locations until April 24th. Also available, the new fish sandwich. We'll see you at Big Boy.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Also featured on the Roar on 99.1, 93.5, and 94.7 HD2. Adam, do you want to go ahead and introduce this topic with Terry this morning?
Yeah. Terry, look, man. we've brought this up multiple times on the show. I'm trying to figure out what exactly the Rooney Rule does in the NFL, and I really want to talk about race in the NFL. What is the Rooney Rule? Why was it ever implemented in place? Do you think it's effective? And more so, it leads to the ultimate question, which is, why aren't there enough black head coaches in the NFL? Is there a race issue in the NFL? Is there a diversity issue? And if so, what is the solution? Because to this day, I don't have one.
Okay, I think there's a comfort issue in the NFL. Who owns NFL teams? They're old white guys in their 80s. And a lot of times when you look at who's hired as a coach, it's who do I feel more comfortable with? Who do I like having a conversation with? And I think that's what hurts the NFL. How can you have a league, and before this year, with one black head coach? What you're saying, if you're just looking by who's the best for the job, what you're saying is you're going back to the black people are not smart, black people can't lead, black people they lack the necessities, and that's not true. But that's why I think it's got to be comfort. Unless these guys are saying that we're dumb and we just can't do it. But, the NFL has gone through this before. It went through it with black quarterbacks, black centers. There's always that wall that has to be knocked down. And so I think that's what it is. I'm not going to call these guys racist. I just think it's comfort. Who do I feel comfortable with running my franchise that's worth $1 billion?
My concern is I don't think we're making enough progress in the league, right? And as somebody who's probably super naive, and I'm probably going to come off as super ignorant right now, but I like to think that, at least I know in my personal life, I'm making decisions that are best for everybody around me. I don't necessarily care what you are, who you look like, or anything for that matter. But when we're talking about the NFL, up until last year, at the end of last year, yes, Mike Tomlin was the only African-American head coach. And to me, there were 3 guys on my short list. If the Lions were to ever have an opening, let's say, if the Lions needed a head coach last year, I was calling Mike McDaniel. I was calling Byron Leftwich. I was calling. Hell, I have Aaron Glenn sitting as a defensive coordinator right now. I think he'll get a job. What's the solution, Terry, to making progress? Because we can all want progress. I could say, yes, of course, diversity is good in the NFL, but at the same time, I look at the list of head coaches that have a winning record in the NFL, and only 5 of them in NFL history are black. They have coached more than 10 games. And of the fact, there have been only, I want to say, 41 black head coaches ever hired for a full season. Or the number's 31, Terry. I might be wrong on that number. But the point is, you're not seeing a significant, consistent amount of, I would say, black coaches being hired in the NFL. I don't have one reason why. I don't have one solution as to why they should, or it should be more, I would say, more of an inclusive league. But when we make rules like, well, you have to have an offensive assistant that is either a minority or a woman. Well, I'm not sure what territory we're crossing, Terry. I don't know if that's a solution. I don't agree with it. I don't think that's helping much, but again, I might sound super ignorant right now. I'm hoping you can kind of help me out through this.
No, I think the whole you got to have an offensive assistant who's black or a woman. I get what this gives owners, it's a larger pool to trash on. It gives them a larger pool to say no to. I don't think they're going to say, okay, well, we got more black assistants, so I'm going to hire a black head coach. You already have guys like Eric Bieniemy. People, and I talk to people in the league, and there's a lot of layers that go into this. The media is at fault, and fans are at fault too. And I want to go back in the day I used to talk to Andrea Kramer, and she was an NFL insider, and she used to tell me all the hot assistant coaches. One year, she told me, T, there's this guy the Lions need to hire. His name is Tony Dungy. So I started writing about Tony Dungy. White people jump down my ass about Tony Dungy. Don't hire him. And here's what they keep saying. There's a narrative about black head coaches. There's this big wall where they don't interview well. Every black head coach who doesn't get a job, it's the same bullshit. They don't interview well. Well, to me, that is a barrier created by you to prevent this from happening. So I wrote about Tony Dungy. The Lion fans who read my stuff revolted, said, he doesn't interview well. He's too quiet. No, we don't want him here. Well,
aren't the same things being said about Eric Bieniemy right now? That he's not interviewing well, or his past history is preventing him from getting a job?
It doesn't change. You gotta come up with something to prevent change from happening. Things haven't changed, and that's scary. So I don't know if massive change is going to happen. And let me address the Caucasians who say, well, do you want all black head coaches? No, just equal opportunity. That's all I'm asking for, equal opportunity. And yes, you have the right to hire whoever you want to. But
Terry, am I wrong? Terry, am I wrong to say that, you brought up the point that there's 32 owners in the NFL, right? They are all white, and they're all very old. There's a generational wealth issue also, right? We're almost 70, 80 years removed from, a little more than that, from slavery, where it was, we're just over almost 100 years now, and generations upon generations catching up in terms of wealth, financial opportunity, educational opportunity. Off the top of my head, I want to say there's 7 African-American billionaires in America right now. That number in 20, 30 years could be 20, 40, who knows? But is that a time thing in terms of getting more black ownership in the NFL? And how does that impact coaching decisions, right? Who am I hiring? Is it just the GM who's making the decision? Because there's plenty of African-American GMs. But how involved are owners is my question to you from your experience into coaching decisions.
I don't think they're in the room with the general manager or the president, but they can make recommendations. And I've heard scenarios, and this is mostly on the collegiate level, where an athletic director has made a decision to hire a black coach. And he goes to his key alumni and everything, and they said, nah, we don't want this guy. And so they don't hire him. So, I'm going to take race out of this for a minute. You know who else doesn't get hired to be head coaches in college and the NFL? Fat guys. Why don't fat guys get jobs? And I know there's been a few, but no. It's because they're fat.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Head coach is not only a guy that's leading your team, but he's the face of the franchise. And you like a guy who's 6'3", maybe weighs 190, 200 pounds, or 220, or 230, or whatever. But like Charlie Weiss. Charlie Weiss was one of the fat guys that did get a job, but he had an ego problem. His ego problem was, nobody knows more than me. I'm the smartest guy, not in the room. I'm the smartest guy in the United States. But he got his opportunities, and now I think he's played out. But for the most part, when owners always say this, I'm hiring a guy because I know he can make my franchise win. Okay, but they're also hiring, I believe, on looks and perception.
Well, I think, how you present yourself, how you look, how you speak in a meeting, that all does matter. There is one person that the chat is encouraging me to ask you about, Terry, and I'll bring him up and I'll let you answer the question. Your thoughts on Jim Caldwell's time here in Detroit, and secondly, him not receiving a serious head coaching opportunity or a look for a gig since his departure from Detroit. Is Jim Caldwell, you felt, is somebody that got a raw deal here? He underperformed, or is he somebody you think that was the guy and wasn't given enough time?
I will quote guys from that locker room, and Ndamukong Suh and other guys who thought they could have taken off under Jim Caldwell. Here's the thing I will say about him. Yes, he made terrible game time decisions, but he took a team that I thought was subpar and put them in position to be in the playoffs. And when they were talking about firing him, the thing that I warned is that he had command of that locker room. He had command of the locker room like I think Dan Campbell has now. And the big risk is if you brought in somebody else that these players didn't respect, that you would have a mutiny. And that's exactly what happened. Jim Caldwell could not succeed here because he had a guy as a general manager that didn't want him here, didn't think he was the right coach, and wanted to bring his boy in. So he could not have succeeded here unless you fired Bob Quinn. But, the Lions weren't going to do that. So, yeah, did I think he got a raw deal? Yes. But do I think he could have succeeded here? No, because he was saddled with, bad management. Let's look at Matthew Stafford. If Stafford had stayed here his entire career, you know what we'd be saying about him?
He's a loser.
Failure as a quarterback. Huh?
Yeah, that he'd be a loser.
Right, he's a loser. Failure as a quarterback. The Lions made a mistake in drafting him. But now he leaves, and now I'm being told he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I tell you another coach that may have been that hasn't gotten a job, and I don't know if he wants one, that was here. I've only heard 2 coaches that players really bitched about when they got fired. Jim Caldwell and Steve Mariucci. From talking to people in the NFL, when the Lions hire somebody, and I talk to people in the NFL, they'll say, this guy is really good, but can he overcome the Detroit Lions? And I've been told that about Mariucci and Caldwell, that if they went somewhere else and had the proper management, that they could really succeed. But you have to understand that the Lions, until now, and even though they had a bad record, I don't think they were a real organization. Because, you talk about, or we've talked about the lack of black head coaches. The Lions were able to do something under our eyes that went unnoticed. They were allowed to keep the old boys network going for decades and decades and decades. They hired people they liked. They hired people who were friends. They hired people who made them feel comfortable. And we allowed that to happen. Right? One playoff win in the last 60 years, that's our fault too. Not just the Lions' fault, because we allowed the Lions to do whatever they wanted to do. And then a lot of people rubber stamped and said, it's okay, this is my team. No matter what they do, I still love them. So, the scenario around the NFL was always, okay, the Lions hired this guy, Morningweg, he stinks. Marinelli, he stinks. But Mariucci, he's actually a good coach. But can he overcome the Detroit Lions? And we could say the same thing about Matthew Stafford. Actually a good quarterback. But can he overcome the Detroit Lions? The answer to that was no.
The thing with Matthew Stafford that's so interesting, Terry, is it was always obvious. Could you surround him with a head coach that was regarded as one of the better head coaches in the NFL? And did you have a front office that would consistently build talent around him? And the answer to both of those was always no. And Jim Caldwell did something that not many head coaches have ever done, if not any, which is coach multiple seasons for the Detroit Lions and walk away with a winning record. Wayne Fontes left Detroit with a losing record, even though he has the most wins of all time. The issue I have with Caldwell is when they decided to move on from him, Terry, I didn't have an issue with it because, one, I saw it coming when Bob Quinn was hired. It was the obvious move. He was always going to bring in Fat Matt. And number two, you're trying to take your franchise to the next level. Jim Caldwell walks in. They take a roster that was underperforming under Jim Schwartz. He takes it to an 11-5 team that year. Everybody remembers the Cowboy game in the playoffs, whatever. We'll forget about it. And then they go and start the next season 5-2 and finish 7-9. And then it's 9-7. And then it's 9-7, winning 8 of those games via fourth quarter comeback on the shoulders of Matthew Stafford and Matt Prater. And at the time, you can say, well, they're winning games. I'd rather win games than be a bottom team. But the reality was they were always average, and they were never good in the fourth quarter. They always committed penalties. They were never a buttoned-up team. And like, Joik Bell always used to say, well, you know what? Jim Caldwell had my respect. He treated me very nicely. Fuck you, Joik. I don't give a fuck how Jim Caldwell treated you. Go win some fucking divisions and a goddamn playoff game. Like, I don't want to hear, oh, well, he makes me feel good, Terry. Jim Caldwell makes me feel good. Shut the fuck up. You're a player. Play some fucking football. Jesus Christ. If I have to hear another player saying, he treats me with respect. Like, that is one part of the game. How about putting me in the best position to win? How about not being a bitch and not going for it on 4th and 1 in Dallas territory? How about doing a million other things outside of sucking? I mean... Sorry. I have a lot of pent-up Jim Caldwell frustration.
But you know what? Guess who else makes these players feel good? And we're all okay with it.
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell. Makes me feel good. I love this guy. He motivates me, and he respects me.
Because there are no expectations yet. That's why, Terry. If they win 3 games this year, everyone's going to be flipping their lid.
Okay. But had one of the worst seasons in Lions history. And what do we give him? Big ass hug. We love this guy because he's crazy. But the bottom line is they didn't win under him. And this is going to be the test for this entire metropolitan area. If Dan Campbell, 4 years from now, is 9-7, which is fine, and is losing playoff games, are we still going to be kissing his ass?
No, you fire his ass is what you do.
No,
Terry, my argument is this simple.
I bet you they don't.
If I can identify your ceiling as a head coach, I need to move on from you. What's your ceiling? When Zach Taylor was 2 years into his deal with the Bengals, what I had seen is he took over a Marvin Lewis team that was going to tank that year. They did. They got Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow plays 7 games that look like a respectable team, but then he goes down and tears his ACL. They tank the rest of the season. They're not going to be able to win without a quarterback. Like, I get why they keep him. I look at Jim Caldwell's situation. You peak year 1, you go down to 7-9, and then you average out at 9-7, and you never looked like you could beat Green Bay and Lambeau. You never looked like you could win a division. You never looked like you could even compete in the playoffs. That to me is why they should have gotten rid of Jim Caldwell more than anything. Is I always felt that they had reached a ceiling under him. Now, he always prevented them from being a disaster, to be fair, but does that mean anything? Well, you're not mediocre, you're not awful, but you're not great. I don't understand.
They're not even mediocre. They're awful now. How's it look since he left? How's it look?
Oh, it's
How
awful.
many times have you... Right.
But it was going to be awful given that Bob Quinn had no idea what the hell he was doing in free agency and in the draft. Missing on every second-round pick, missing on most first-round picks. And on top of that, never surrounding the quarterback with what he needed. And even if... To be honest, Terry, even if Jim Caldwell stayed, I still see the Lions failing because Bob Quinn just wasn't it.
And if you're listening, clean the wax out your ears, brother. I said that 10 minutes ago, that I don't think Caldwell could have succeeded here because Bob Quinn was his general manager. Dan Campbell might succeed here because of Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes is the most important guy, probably, no, maybe not, in the city now because people care about the Lions more than anything else. He's the most important guy here. But Caldwell brought the Lions. They were a respectable team. Now, were they a team that was going to threaten people to win divisions and to go to the Super Bowl? No. But I will say this. For the first time in history, under Jim Caldwell, who happened to be black, 9-7 is not good enough. The Lions don't finish 9-7 most seasons. In fact, to me, my joke used to be the paper would always make you pick the record for the Lions, and I would always pick 7-9 because that's what they were, a 7-9 team, maybe 6-10 or 5-11. But for the very first time, for one of the most incompetent franchises in history, I heard for the first time 9-7 is not good enough. And you know what? It's not. But most years we tolerate 7-9. We tolerate 3-13-1.
You can tolerate it when you're building towards something, right? So Jim Caldwell shows up. They go 11-5. Everybody is feeling good about the situation. The city has belief in him as a head coach. The next year they start off 5-2. Go ahead.
When he was 11-5, he was catching stuff from the media.
Okay, media are stupid in this town. I can't fix stupid, Terry.
Okay. We weren't talking about 11-5. Hey, you're part of that media now, brother. So are you calling yourself stupid? No.
Yes.
We weren't talking about that 11-5. We were talking about he lacked as a coach. But I go back. Here's how I can tell a young Lions fan. Young Lions fan will come up and say, you know what, T? Lions have been bad the last 10 years. I'm like, dude, where you been? I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. You're 24 years old. You don't know any better. The Lions have been terrible. I mean, let's go back to Darryl Rogers. He was so bad, he had to say, what's the guy got to do to get fired around here? Right? And you go from that to 9-7 is not good enough. When you never finish 9-7, when was the last time the Lions finished? And you know what? Here, let me bring up another thing. This is Detroit Lions in a nutshell. They beat Denver a few years ago, and they're 6-2 at the halfway point. So the Lions have finished feeling good about themselves. Mike Fury, who was a defensive back turned wide receiver, after they beat Denver, he leaves the locker room, and before he leaves, he stops and said, "Hey, media, you can kiss our asses." As soon as he said that, I'm like, he just jinxed the team. They're not going to make the playoffs at 6-2. And guess what happened? They lost 7 of their last 8 games. Right.
Yeah,
right.
Look, again.
That's the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, again. I don't know, Terry. I'm not on board with the idea of remembering Caldwell for anything other than it was disappointing. You showed up 11-5. You show up the next year and you choke away the whole season after a great start to the year. And then you're starting to have some questions, and then you lobby out at 9-7. Again, if you win a division, if you win a playoff game, getting to the playoffs doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. Are you competing?
Okay.
The objective every year should be to compete.
I want to hold you accountable 4 years from now. 4 years from now, when Dan Campbell finishes 9-7 and loses a playoff game, and then follows the next season by making the playoffs and losing the first game, Adham, I want you to say this man should be fired.
He will be, and he should be, and I'll tell you why. Because I've reached a ceiling with this head coach, Terry. For me, it's obvious. If 3-4 years from now, they are a 9-7 team, and in 5 years, he's never won a division, and he's 0-2 in the playoffs, you're damn right I'm firing. What am I, trying to keep Marvin Lewis on my team right now? At least Marvin Lewis won goddamn divisions. Like, for me, the objective every year should be to win the division first, and if you can accomplish that, I believe you have, or at least contend for the division, I believe you have a good roster. And if you have a good roster, I believe you can contend in the playoffs. Not you just fall flat on your face, ass backwards into the playoffs every year and then lose.
I tell you what, if 4 years from now we're talking about the Lions going 9-7, and they just lost to, let's say, San Francisco, first round of the playoffs. The next year they lose to Seattle, first round in the playoffs. Dan Campbell will not be fired.
I'll make sure he gets fired. I'll tell you why, because Lions fans are the biggest bunch of bitches I've ever met in my life. You guys are pathetic. Oh, we just want to go to the playoffs. Shut the fuck up, for God's sake. You know what you should want to do? You should want to host a playoff game. Last time you did it was in 91. Or, excuse me, 93, correct, Terry? Correct me if I'm wrong. 93 was the last time they hosted a playoff game.
You actually won a game.
Jesus Christ, 91 the last time you won, 93 the last time you hosted a playoff game. You don't want to just, oh, well, we're happy to make the playoffs. We're the Lions. Go compete for your division. Go win your goddamn division. Go act like a normal, good football team acts. Not, oh, well, we're the Lions. We win 8 of our 9 games heading by a fourth quarter comeback, and we suck, and everybody knows we suck, and then we get trampled by the Seattle Seahawks, and then we choke away, and we can't score any points against the Dallas Cowboys, even though we started off a 14-0 lead in that game. Like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear these low bitch-ass, pussy-ass expectations. I want to compete for the division more often than not, and I want to win the division. And if you can do that, we can talk about the playoffs, guys. It's that simple.
That's my man, the Atomic Dog. I love you.
I love you too, man.
I'm telling you, brother, you are going to have a heart attack, because under the scenario that we presented, 9-7, 4 years from now, still losing playoff games, Dan Campbell will not be fired.
That's why we keep the 9mm close to us, Terry.
That is true. Now, I'm going to give you a little quiz, and it's going to be hard for you to figure this one out. What's the one word you never hear at a press conference introducing a new Lions GM or new Lions coach? We may have talked about this.
I think I know the answer to this. I think I know the answer. The answer is the thing you never hear in a coach or a GM. No. The word you never hear is, we're here to build a championship team. Am I right?
Bingo.
Yep.
100%. They never mention that. Here's what they say. We can turn around the culture. We can win games. We can be competitive. But they don't talk about winning a championship. And I think there's a reason for that, because the Lions are not thinking about winning a championship. Now, their fans think about it. Their fans want it. But I don't think the Lions think about it. They're thinking about getting out of this rubble of being an awful franchise. And I think right now they're thinking, if we can just make the playoffs and maybe win a playoff game, that'll get the fans off their ass.
Yeah, look, and maybe I'm a naive fan, Terry, right? I haven't been alive for 58 years to, have all the trauma and PSD, but I've been alive enough for some shit, all right? I've seen some stuff in my life. Having said that, I don't think I'm crazy to ask in a 10-year window, all right? In a 10-year vacuum, if you deliver 3 division titles and 5 playoff appearances, or 6 playoff appearances, let's say, and you win 2 of them, or you get to an NFC title game in a 10-year stretch, I'm okay with that. I can live with that. You were competing and never worked out in your favor. All right, fine. We were never a Super Bowl team. But damn it, only one team wins the Super Bowl. Only 2 get to it every year. Like, show me you are competing. Show me you're contending. Show me you're doing something. Like, that is it for me. It's that easy. You don't need to win a Super Bowl to get my attention. Win the division. Compete for it consistently. Make competent decisions. And if you're competing over the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years consistently, and you have a few down years in between, it happens to everyone, I'm okay with that. But don't sit here and tell me, oh, well, 9-7, and we're going to go to the playoffs, Terry, and we're going to lose, but it's okay, at least we made the playoffs. Fucking bitches, man. Bunch of bitches, Terry.
You know what's going to happen this year? Lions have finished 6-10, or I'm sorry, this the 17th, 6-11 or 7-10. This place is going to go nuts. They're going to go bananas. People are going to be jumping in fountains. Don't go on social media, because they're going to be talking so much trash about a below 500 team because the expectations are so low in this town that they'll go nuts.
Fair
so
enough.
you know
Well,
what? We talk about the Tigers taking off their shirts.
Yep.
If the Lions finish 7-10, Lion fans are going to take off their shirts and show their nipples. Watch.
I'm waiting for the day. I'm waiting for the day. But speaking of which, guys, I need a haircut. Yep. I really do. It's getting pretty bad, and you know what? I have a 10:15 appointment at Lady Jane's
Hell
Haircuts
yeah, you do.
for men. God dang it, I need a haircut. I need the special King's treatment. Guys, they take care of me all the time. You see me, you always compliment my hair. It is thanks to the beautiful women over at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Check them out. They're open 10 to 8, Monday to Sunday, 7 days a week. Guys, they're always there for you when you need them. I'd even, you know what's funny, Maddie? I woke up this morning a complete mess. No idea what I was doing with my
changed?
life. You know what's one thing I could rely on? Lady Jane's being open to take care of my hair, because god damn it, it's really bad. Guys, check out Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Adam, are you okay?
I'm all right.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm struggling.
I know.
Yeah, Terry, fasting is kicking my ass, man. I look like a mess this morning. I'll fully acknowledge it. Look at this.
No, put that back on. Nobody
only
wants to
2
see
days
that.
in.
Nobody
Hey,
wants to see that.
Look at this. I wish I had hair.
Oh, God. Terry.
I love guys bitching about their hair.
Yeah, I'm not really complaining about the
But
hair
you
more
know
than I'm
what?
complaining about it look like a disaster.
I can tell you're in a sour mood today because you're making me talk Lions all day.
I'm sorry, Terry. I didn't mean to. Honestly, we weren't even supposed to talk about the Lions. We kind of just transitioned into it. It wasn't even part of the prep. But anyways.
It is what it is.
Can't wait for the fall.
Terry, I want to talk about women's basketball for just a little bit, and I want to get Maddie's opinion on this as well. Coach Dawn Staley, the South Carolina women's basketball head coach, has now secured her second national title after Sunday. She is what I would define as a boss coach. And Terry, your question this morning is, do you see her coaching possibly in the NBA or Division I men's basketball? Does she break that barrier? And do you think that's a barrier that needs to be broken? Is it important for the game? Kind of walk me through your thoughts, Terry.
I don't think it's important for that barrier to be broken, but it would be nice to see it broken. Now, I have talked to NBA players, and I'm not sure if they're lying to me or not. Could you play for a woman's coach? And the way these guys act normally, I would say no, because it's they're snapping jock straps at each other and acting like fools. But they say yes if I could play for a woman coach. Now these NBA players. Now I think Dawn Staley will never coach in the NBA, but I could see her coaching Division I men's college basketball. When you talk to people about Dawn Staley, she's not only considered a great coach, but a great human being, very smart. Somebody that if she coached football, maybe she could be a black coach in the NFL. Who knows? That's how highly she's thought of. So,
coach me, if you can better my game, I am willing to listen to you, whoever you are. I don't care if you're a leprechaun. I don't care if you're a walking dildo. I don't care what you are or what you look like. If you can help me improve as an individual, I'm all for it, Terry. Oh, Terry died? Oh, Terry died. Sad news here on the morning show. Terry Foster is dead.
Wow.
At the young age, let me see how old
Oh, we
he
got
is.
him back. We got him
Oh,
back.
he's alive? Oh, Terry, I was about to announce
Yes.
a public death.
He did
My
not
bad.
sign a DNR.
I don't know how much you caught of what I said, Terry, but what I did say was...
No, because I was still talking. I was saying some good stuff too, and then I was frozen like this.
Well, no wonder I couldn't hear you. Oh, well. Well, stuff happens. What I was saying about Staley is she's got a 7-year, $25 million extension that she signed, I want to say, last year. She's now a 2-time national champion. She's someone I believe is going to have a top 3 recruiting class every single year that she's at South Carolina. She's great. Having said that, you know, I'm not one of those guys that's going to say, well, Terry, she's a woman. I'm not going to let her coach me. And the point I was making, Terry, was I don't care who you are, what you look like, if you're a leprechaun, if you're a walking dildo, I don't care. If you can better my game and me as an individual, I'm for it.
We need more Adams in the world.
That's what I'm saying.
Because it does matter. It does matter if you're a woman. It does matter if you're black. It does matter if you're white. We like to believe that's not the case, but it is. And Dawn Staley, I would be really interested to see what the interview process is like for her. She's going to have to go through a lot of stuff that guys are not going to go through if she's interviewed for a Division I men's job or the NBA. Because the guys will look at her and say, yep, you got a great resume. But can you handle the fellas? And I think the excuse for her is going to be, it's not that she can't do it, is, well, how are guys going to handle her? How are guys going to respond to her? So it's going to be the reason she doesn't get an NBA job and maybe she doesn't get a Division I job because administrators will throw their hands up and say, these guys weren't going to respond, so we're not going to hire.
You know who I think would be the perfect fit for Dawn Staley if an NBA opening ever occurred and this guy walked away from the game, let's say after this year? I think Golden State is the perfect fit. That's the exact organization that I think would have the balls to make a move like that, Terry.
That's true, and she's the same height as Steph Curry, so that would work.
Oh, God. Well, let's take a quick break. When we get back, Terry, I got to find out a little bit more detail about opening day, what goes on, how much you're willing to pay for some stuff. We'll get to that. But before we do, Maddie, could you please tell everybody at home about our good friends over at Cintron? And stop dropping your pen.
Yes, I can. I will never stop dropping my pen. But Cintron, we love Cintron. It's one of Jeff's favorite drinks. Y'all remember he drank one every morning. You should too. Cintron World is an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand with a line of sparkling flavored energy beverages, premium bottled water, and revitalizer shots. Cintron is the official energy drinks of the Red Wings, proud partners with the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is your top choice. Buy online at cintronworld.com with promo code RedWings10. Save 10% with shipping included. Drink it, live it with Cintron.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. Working with Hall Financial to purchase my first home was easier than I could have ever imagined. They treated me like family from start to finish. Find out for yourself at callhallfirst.com.
At Wingsnob, staying humble's not our forte. We just have better wings. We're back at it again with our crispy golden brown fries and our famous boneless wings. Juicy, tender, hormone-free chicken. Your favorite signature sauces with no bone. Just when you thought Wingsnob couldn't get any better. Order online at wingsnob.com today. Wingsnob. We just have better wings.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners of the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is your top choice.
Baseball, beer, babes, more beer. Opening day live from Brass Rail and Music Hall Amphitheater with Woodward Sports.
I don't know about you guys, but I just saw that commercial for wings, and now I am starving.
Oh, wow.
Fresh, juicy, hormone-free chicken. Wing Snob has the best traditional
So
wings. Try our signature sauces, Jamaican jerk, or lemon pepper. The wings are tossed to perfection in any sauce that you pick. When the wings are this good, you're allowed to be a snob. Order online now at wingsnob.com. Wingsnob, we just have better wings.
How do you not? Oh,
That's
wait.
a very sexual live read there, Maddie. Good job.
You're welcome.
Proud of you.
Do you want to buy wings now?
I do. Want some
This is a
wings?
question for everybody in this room. This is a question for all of you. How much, and everybody in the chat, get involved in this. How much are you willing to pay for a beer at a ballpark? Huh?
I
Now,
mean, like, am I
as
just
somebody
not gonna
that drinks a lot before the game, I don't make often the best decisions when I'm at the ballpark.
Shocker.
I'll eat a hot dog or two, and that's usually followed up with 4 or 5 beers, and the next thing I know, the $70 event I planned on going to turned into a $150, $200 event.
Easily.
Not my best moments in life, but Terry, I'm willing to pay just about anything, to be honest with you.
Okay, for me to answer that question, you need to give me one piece of information. Am I drunk or am I sober? Like right now.
You're litty titty. You're drunk.
Okay. All right. Then I'm willing to go $11 if I'm drunk. Because I need that beer, and I'm with people, and everybody's screaming and having a good time. But right now, sober, $9 is high as I'll go.
Yeah, but why? Why 9? Well, what's the difference between $9 and $11? What are we doing here?
$2.
Oh, that's $2. You buy 5 beers that day, you're only paying $10 more. It's not that big of a difference.
That's a big difference.
It's not $10. Come on, Terry.
That could be my after game snack.
Yeah.
Plus, I need to
where you
be,
go.
but you know what? I need to be responsible. But you have to understand, downtown Detroit. I took the wife out, and we had it's supposed to be a nice romantic weekend. And so we went to an exclusive bar. You know how much the drinks were?
I'm listening.
$20. Right. The typical drink downtown right now is $13 to $15. So it would lead to believe that a beer under that scenario would be about $8, $9. So I'm, sober, I'm willing to pay $9. But, if I'm out having a good time and the people screaming my name and everything, I said, what the hell, 11. I'll go 11. I'm not paying $12 for a beer or $11.50. 11 is my limit, sober or drunk.
How much is a beer?
I'm willing to pay $30 for a beer if I need it, to be honest with you, Terry. I'm willing to pay just about anything.
Dude,
I'm
how
at a
much is
ballpark
beer
here.
at
I cannot not have a
America?
beer in my hand.
Like $13?
$15 I'll pay for a beer. I don't care.
We don't know because last year.
Again, I'm not trying to sound ignorant right now. All right. I understand
last year,
it's a bit
typical beer
expensive.
was $8 to $8.50.
But I need alcohol, Terry.
We don't know what it's going to be this year.
But also,
I'm gonna
like,
guess-
they're like the bigger beers, though. They're like the tall boys. So keep that in mind.
Tall boys are more, sister.
I know. No, they're not. It's the same thing. At Little Caesar Arena, it's like $13, right?
$11.50, I think. Terry, we gotta get
That's
drunk.
over my limit.
That's what I just found out.
It's over my limit. But I'm willing to pay more at Comerica than I am at Little Caesars Arena because I'm outside having a good time. I don't know because I'm just goofy like that. Because I'm outside having a good time. The sun is shining. I got on my
means you
little
need more
Tiger
beer.
t-shirt. So I'll pay more.
Yeah, look, I'm willing to pay just about anything for a beer, Terry, to be honest with you. So I don't know if I fall in line with like the scum of the earth human beings.
Why
but-
can't everything be like the Masters, where the highest price is like $4? You can buy a beer for $4.
This is America. This is a capitalist country, buddy.
Yeah, the Masters is in America. It's in Georgia.
Yeah, it's in Georgia. Never mind. I don't want to say
Tammy
anything
says
and get me
$12.50
canceled.
at LCA.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not bad.
No.
Yeah, but
look,
you know
Terry-
what?
I pay for it.
When you pay $11 for a beer, guess what? You're paying for those players out there. You're paying for a lot of different things. That's why they're so expensive. So you can make that excuse, Adam, that you're supporting the team and you're supporting the players to make sure that
I'm not supporting the team when I spend $13 on a beer. I'm supporting myself. I am a selfish human being. I am supporting myself to the fullest extent.
Like, if
and,
they would let me
I have
back
no
out
shame.
to my car to shotgun another beer and then come back in, that's what I would be doing.
I will say,
However,
though, there's no better experience than drinking a ton of beers at Comerica at night.
yes,
Those
night beers, they hit different.
Yeah, they do. Terry, we're on to something here, huh? You following me,
Yeah,
Terry?
you might be, but as a older gentleman, I appreciate the day beer too. And at Comerica, what beer are you drinking? Normally, I'm getting a Line Cougar.
Miller Lite, because it's Miller time, baby.
Fair
Is that
enough.
what you're going?
I have to.
Terry, give me your best in-game arena moment. It doesn't have to be necessarily the moment you witnessed, but it could be a reaction. You hugged another fan or you sucked his dick. I don't know what the hell you do at games, Terry. Give me something wild that you did at a game once.
So I don't do wild stuff at games because I've been in the media for decades.
He's not a fan. He's in the media.
I'm a journalist. But we are taught and programmed no cheering, no emotion.
Nope.
And even when I go with my
Straight
kids,
face.
I'm the same thing. I watch a game like this. That was cute. Bravo. Bravo. I might clap, but I don't do stuff like that. So you got the wrong guy.
Oh,
but
man,
I will tell you my most enjoyable moment was at Comerica Park. My son was, I don't know, 5 or 6. Tigers are getting hammered. They're getting killed. I think they're down 4 or 5 runs in the 9th inning. And they rally. They keep getting people on base. And Miguel Cabrera, I believe, hit a walk-off 3-run home run. And my son was ecstatic. Just seeing him jump up and down, smiling and laughing, and, he wants to run out on the field, which you couldn't do. That was worth it for me. So that was probably the grandest moment I've had as an adult. Now, as a kid, my moment that I will always remember happened during the 1968 World Series. Not World Series, the regular season. The Tigers were 1 game away from clinching the pennant to go to the World Series. And they had Joe Sparma on the mound, who was a guy. He would walk 5 or 6 guys, but he'd strike out 10, and he'd win the game some way, somehow. But this game, he didn't walk anybody, maybe walk one or 2 batters. But the Tigers ended up clinching the pennant. They beat the Yankees 2-1. And then afterwards, there's this wild celebration, people honking their horns and everything. And to me, which was a chilling moment and a thrilling moment, first time in my life I ever saw a white man hug a black guy. And today, that seems like silly, like, well, that happens all the time. Not in 1968. We were at each other's throats way more than we are now. Black and white people, we fought over the Detroit Zoo. We fought over busing. We fought over redlining. We fought over housing. I mean, we just fought. And to see that, and I didn't realize it at the time, but later on it told me the power of sports. That if you can create that scene, then to me, I'm all in to sports. And that was the most impactful scene that I experienced as a kid, because a year earlier in 1967, I went to a game with my Aunt Jerry and cousin David, and we saw the racial divide play out outside of Tiger Stadium. A black guy and a white guy are arguing about race, and the black guy punched the white guy, knocked him out, and he was just shivering on the ground, and I was so scared as a kid to see that, but it told us where we were as a society at that time. And then a year later, to see the black guy and the white guy hug, it told me what the power of sports were, and it was wonderful thing to see. So those are the two most impactful moments I've had at a stadium and maybe slightly outside of a stadium.
I love it. I love it. Guys, we got to get to mailbag. Get your questions in the chat for Maddie, myself, or Terry. Get them in the chat now. But before we go, Maddie, our good friends at the Sports Marketing Agency, please.
Yes, Sports Marketing Agency has been leveraging pro athletes and other notables for decades against the issues around mental health and substance abuse disorder. With the help of NFL alumni and good friend of Braylon Edwards, Sean Jordan has been able to save lives and take a stand against these issues. Soon coming to Woodward Sports, the Sports Marketing Agency podcast. This is the F Word series against fentanyl. If you're struggling with substance abuse or mental health, they are here to help. Go to thesportsma.com.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house.
Hello?
Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Baseball, beer, babes, more beer. Opening day live from Brass Rail and Music Hall Amphitheater with Woodward Sports.
Oh, guys. Adam, stay out. Guardian Alarm gets it. A good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm has the state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, control lights and temperatures, detect smoke or carbon monoxide. It will even let you lock and unlock doors. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT today. You heard Fish. That's it. Stay 1-800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years at keeping families
Stay out
safe.
of my country!
All right, it's mailbag time. Get your questions in the chat. Is Crystal Adam's daughter? Crystal with an X.
I hope to God Crystal's never my daughter.
You would have a daughter like that.
Nah, I don't know.
I can see.
I can't. I don't know how you expect me to spawn such a thing.
Spawn?
That is disgusting. Anyways, Terry, we got some questions in the chat. I'm so goddamn
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
I took a peek at the chat, and I'm insulted by two things.
Uh-oh.
One, I keep saying, "Oh, how drunk are Maddie and Adam gonna get?"
Yeah, it's valid.
You can't have a beer too.
What?
I can't get drunk.
Oh, Terry.
They will not. Nobody mentions if I'm.
They don't know you yet.
They should. I've been around here before you were born.
I know that, but the way Adam and I party is a little bit different.
Terry, I'm all in, man. I'm all in. You want to show up to the show drunk on Friday? I'm ready, man. I'm ready. You just let me know when and where. If I have to wake up at 4 a.m. to do it, damn it, I will.
Are we actually doing that? Are we going to your house at 4 a.m. to drink?
You guys are all welcome.
Okay.
Why are we asking twice?
Oh, you won't last
You'll never have
today.
to ask me more than once.
No, I know I won't. I'm not. I don't plan on living past
I just
Friday.
know I'm
so
going to be the only one showing up at 4 a.m. and look like an idiot.
I don't know. All right. Well,
don't show up, Fish. Adam,
Terry, the question we got is from Pistons fan 11. He says, "Would you take pick 16, 19, and a second overall pick, or excuse me, a second round pick for the number 2 overall pick?" That is from the Saints, Terry. Your thoughts? You making that
Normally,
move?
Normally, I would say no, but because the Lions are so devoid of talent, and I think you can still get an edge rusher, but yeah, I would go for that. Because now you're getting 3 players, and you can play around, and you can patch the needs of this team. So would I do that? Yes. But under normal circumstances, no. But this is not a normal team. This is not a normal circumstance. This is a team that needs talent so badly that I would sell my soul for extra young players. So yes.
In a normal situation, I would say hell no. In this year's draft class, I'm still going to say hell no because, yes, you give me a 16th overall, a 19th overall, and a second rounder, but I now have to wait for 15 teams to make a selection before I can acquire a player. Now, is there going to be a very good player available at 15 or, 16? Probably. It happens every single year. Are the Lions going to be able to spot that kid and draft him? We'll have to wait and see. But me, no. I wouldn't trade off Terry. I would prefer to be able to make the pick and the player of my choice that is on my board instead of waiting to see who falls to 16. Maddie, what do we got here?
We got nothing. Mind your business.
Say it, damn it. No, say it.
No, we're done here.
Come on.
My cousin is in the chat.
Which one?
Matthew Bona
All right, who's Matthew Bona?
is my cousin.
All right. From
He's
where?
asking when I'm playing the recorder on the show.
What, do you play the recorder?
No. There was a traumatizing time in my childhood where I decided to play the flute for my Italian family, and I got absolutely laughed off stage.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you suck. You deserve. Terry, I'm
No,
not. See,
I was terrible.
see, I'm going to be the kind of parent. If you suck on stage, I don't care if that's another kid's
Just
kid
boo
or
him?
my kid. You're getting booed off the stage.
Oh, for sure.
That's awesome.
Okay,
I'm not polite
can't-
at all, Terry. I'm throwing my slippers out.
that you can't. You would never see. You don't have kids. You would never boo your kid, but you could do something that I did. Was my daughter Celine, when she was a kid, she was in a dance recital, and so there was like 21 acts. She's act number 5, so they perform and they're awful.
Ouch.
So I get up and I want to leave, and my wife said, "You can't leave. You got to see the whole thing." I said, "Well, why? My kid's already done." So you have to be polite and see the whole thing. So afterwards, I see Celine and she's bouncing back. "Hey, Daddy, wasn't that wonderful?" She was talking about the whole thing, and it was putrid. But I could admit to my daughter, said, "No, it was one of the worst." I didn't say the worst acts, but I said it was not good. What I wanted to say, and it was one of the worst
Worst thing you've ever
performances
seen in your
I've
life?
ever been to. But you just can't say it to your kid.
Adam would.
Fuck him.
No, he wouldn't. He thinks he would. He thinks he was. Adam is not as badass as he wants you to believe. He's got a heart. Adam likes puppies. And if Adam was responsible for a life being in the world, that man would soften. He would not be Atomic Dog anymore. He just doesn't realize it yet. Come on, Adam, give me that hard-ass look. You're going to look at a 6-year-old.
Terry, we need to make a phone call real quick. Terry, we need to make a phone call real
Shout
quick.
out to Wasim. We love you.
You son of a bitch. You know what I want.
What do you want?
What do you mean? What? Why did you send that picture, you son of a bitch?
Listen, because I'm gonna kick your ass on Sunday golfing, so
you.
you need to get your.
Terry, I've been betrayed. I hate you, Weiss. I hate you. God fucking damn it. All right, enjoy the picture, Terry. It's on screen.
Thanks, Wasim. We love you.
Oh yeah.
Put that back up, yes.
Terry approves.
Hey, Adam, why is there a mushroom in your face?
It's a long story,
This
Terry.
is circa 2014.
It's a
in
long
case
story.
anyone
I was like
wondering.
21 years old. I was into some weird stuff, Terry. I can't explain myself.
All right.
You son of a gun. All right, well, Terry, now that the cat's out of the hat or whatever the hell, out of the closet, I don't know, whatever. I don't give a shit. Whatever. You know what? I'm just gonna take a dick pic and post it on the internet. That way, you have nothing on me. I've accomplished it all. I think that's the move.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans?
Might as well get paid for it, right?
Nah, it's not worth it. What do you think, Terry? Leak nudes?
Don't do it, man. Let's be classy
Oh, okay.
If that's possible.
Yeah, it's not possible, Terry Foster. I'm sure you know
Oh,
that.
God. Well, guys, thank you so much, Terry. You're the man. I hope you enjoyed my dick pic. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the morning show today. It's, as always, eventful. Can't thank you guys enough. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. sharp. Shout out to everybody in the studio. Shout out to all of you in the chat. Thank you so much for watching the show and supporting us throughout the whole way. Spencer, go to hell. Wasim, go to hell. And I'll see you guys
Love
tomorrow.
you guys.
Be good.